We're going to use curly willow, and you can choose to use the strongest, largest curly willow as the heaven line tie, and then 3/4 of that is going to be the yo, or the man, and you'll place that in slightly in front and beside it. You'll place this in your kenzon towards the center, but just because you put it in the center doesn't mean it goes in the center. It means your stem goes in the center, and you kind of pivot it around to one side. Everything in Ikebana is always asymmetrical. Nothing is symmetrical in Ikebana. That's why it's so beautiful. Now, we're going to use, after you get in your line material, then you're going to work in your croton leaves, and they are lovely, and they give you so much autumn color. You'll work 3 of them into a triangular pattern, and then you work in your Italian ruscus. Now, I didn't bring a sample of the ruscus, but if you can imagine me holding the ruscus with the fine tip in this hand and the stem at the end in this hand, it's too long, and we're going to use it to trail out to give us that welcoming, humble, bowing effect in the design. So we're going to cut off the end, maybe 3 or 4 stems up from the bottom, and that short piece you're going to use here in the back. And then the nice long piece you're going to use to extend out. Now, because this is freestyle, you can choose to put it in the front, but if you have a piece that maybe is shaped a little bit differently, I had some students who actually placed it in the back, and it looked beautiful, but then they complemented it with the rosemary coming out in the front, so it was a balanced look. So now to the rosemary. So the rosemary we've purchased from the wholesaler, and I've been told you do not want to eat the rosemary because it's probably been sprayed with some chemical. So you can, rub it in your fingers and smell it, but do not ingest it or use it in a recipe, okay? You're going to cut it because the pieces are quite long. The reason this is a freestyle is you can choose if you want to use the rosemary, which is long and beautiful, for the heaven and the man. And then loop your willow, make loops here with your willow if you prefer to do that. So you have some options in the design to either loop your willow or keep it straight as the heaven and the man. Then the last item we're going to work in are these beautiful red hypericum berries, and they are voluptuous, and so is the foliage that is underneath it. But even though the leaves are beautiful, they will not last over time, and they will shrivel up, and the berries will still look beautiful, but the leaves will shrivel. So just make the sacrifice and take the leaves off of the hypericum and just leave the berries on there. Again, 3 different heights. You can put the short one in the front or the short one in the back, the medium one in the front. You can make one taller, but be sure that you have 3 different lengths of the berries. Then the last thing you're going to do in our Mori Mono design is which means, by the way, tree things of the trees, okay? Now, if you Google Mori Mono, you'll come up with designs that are mostly all just vegetables and fruits, and no foliage and no branches and no berries. But because we're Moto Ikebana, we're going to combine Moto with Mori Mono, and we're making a Moto Mori Mono design. So we're going to have all of it in there, and then we're going to choose these beautiful gourds and pumpkins, miniature ones, and place them around on your mat. So some of you have purchased a doormat and turn it upside down, and that's what your rubber mat, it's black, and your kenzon or your well just fits on there so nicely, and then you're going to arrange everything based on the framework of the mat. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
How about the placement of the 3 crotons?
Yes.
Where I'm sitting, it looks like the one in front is the largest.
It is. It is.
Okay.
You can put it wherever you like.
Okay.
Yes, it's freestyle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can put the big one. They're really kind of voluptuous, and they really frame it in. Oh, the other thing about the croton leaves is do wipe them off. They're kind of dirty and maybe covered with some chemicals and things. So just use your micro towel that you have on your table, dip it in some water and wipe them off so that you get all of the water droplets and the chemicals off of it, and then it'll kind of shine and look very nice, okay? So clean those off, mimic that coloration when you lay out your gourds, okay? So this is a Mori, Moto Mori Mono, so enjoy the Moto. So ladies, you can pick your, one pack of leaves is all you need. They're all in groups of 3 already. So just pick out a